produced under the most respectable conditions in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. And as my late husband, Ephraim Levi, used to say, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. Oh. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also mention that I'm available for financial consultation, instructions in the guitar and mandolin, short-distance hauling, and national monuments restored.
Call on Dolly. She's the one the sisters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring a maiden up, and she'll snatch him up. Call on Dolly.
Mrs. Levi!
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with scissors and black paper. Oh, here's one of W.C. Fields looking the other way. I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is somebody steady to clean the house. And as my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half of New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone, or whatever I'll see. And well, what do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with. Only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I must have some change here somewhere. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
And speaking of poultry, I am also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, and pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi! Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meadow. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lies. When a man with a timid
Mrs. Levi.
I know, Mr. Kemper, the Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now you go buy our tickets, get a window seat, order us some lunch, and I'll meet you on board. As for Levi, I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money, and send it out circulating among the people like crazy ones. And I want a sign from you, sometime today, that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired of living from hand to mouth. So I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi!
Sometime today. Don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little Institue dominated, gets the giggle starting, my best friend is going to make me so excited. And my kitchen is starting, and my kitchen is starting.
Tears in the lot was just oil. Cornelius! Barnaby!
You stamped Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I got news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. When I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
Aren't you young, Mr. Vandergelder?
Not yours, hell and damnation mine. I mean, I'm getting married again. And in honor of that occasion, I decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are. I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's how you're taking me for your promotion, is it? No, sir, you'll attend the store as usual. Now I'll get back to work, and don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off, marrying artists, foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools. And the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. And my wife died, which was foolish with her. I grew older, which was sensible of me, became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're wondering now. Why men of such good sense should be planning anything as foolish as getting married again. The answer is simple. This house without a woman would be an empty shell, and pretty dirty, too. Takes a woman all on to joyously clean out the drain in the sink, and it takes a woman with all
love, that distress, that why. Oh yes, it takes a woman,
A hush, dear woman.
To bring you the sweet things in love. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart of distress a while. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in love.
All right, all of you, out of here. Get out.
Congratulations! Congratulations! 1,000 congratulations!
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies, prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Oh, did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. Well, by that I mean, well, you know what people have said, but I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoons of that chowder she made so special for him, and poof. But it could happen to anyone. No, there's no truth in it. Just one word of advice, Mr. Vandergelder. Eat out.
Now look here, Mrs. Levi. Do you mean to say that Mrs. Malloy...
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Vandergelder. Just some friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. Beautiful. You should see it. Black. Well, as I said before, Mr. Vandergelder, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in... may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Look here, Mrs. Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I still intend paying a call on her this afternoon as arranged.
Very well, then there's nothing left for me to do here than to go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name. Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture it if you will. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime. Eyes as big round as silver dollars. Skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19, weight 47, waist 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt, Mr. Vandergelder. Well, I can arrange for you two to meet this very afternoon.
I ain't got time. I gotta take my niece Ermengarde to New York this afternoon until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
Oh, well, I can do that for you. I'm very good at handling such things.
Then I'm marching the 14th Street Association Parade.
Well, what an amazing coincidence. Guess who's been chosen to ride in the main float? The spirit of 14th Street. Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, I'll meet Miss Money at the parade. But I still intend paying a call on Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, dear, what races you make me run. Very well, then I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing. Suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well, then I happen to have one more name on my list, Mr. Vandergelder. A name I know as well as my own. But we won't get into that now. It'll come up by itself all in good time. Don't you worry about that. Oh, but wait till you see Ernestina Horace. A vision, a dream.
It takes a woman of powder to joyously clean out the drain in the sink, and it takes a angel with normal glasses.
You know, Ephraim, I think I'm going to have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, I'm coming up. We've got plans to make.
Chief clerk. Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, I bet in 10 years I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. I'm 33 years old, Barnaby, and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You can live on the holidays, Cornelius.
You remember what we did last Christmas, Barnaby? All those cans of stewed tomatoes went rotten and exploded. And you and I were cleaning up the mess all afternoon. You call that living?
No, I guess not.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more cans of rotten tomatoes are going to explode.
Holy cabooses! How do you know?
I'm going to light this candle under them. That's how I know. They'll make such a stench, no customer will be able to come into the place for at least 24 hours. That'll get us an evening free. Barnaby, you and I are going to New York and we're going to live. We're going to have some good meals. We're going to spend our money. We're going to be in danger. We're going to get arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And we're not coming home until we've each kissed a girl.
Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't even know any girls.
Oh, I'm 33 years old, Barnaby. I've got to start sometime.
I'm only 17, and it isn't so urgent for me.
Oh, New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains. The lights of Broadway. The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale. What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is to make you financially independent. I know. I'll find you a job. Can you guess?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well, then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi. Painters taught how to dance.
Now, there's a man, Rudolph Weisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'll give you a note for him, and we'll see if he can't have you both entered into polka contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to step foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying I'm surprised that you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends of days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life, and any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, every Saturday night like clockwork, down those stairs at Harmonia Gardens restaurant we came, Ephraim and me.
That's all fine and well to come down like clockwork, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Vandergelder we mean business. Now, you go down to the Harmonia Gardens restaurant this afternoon and tell them Mrs. Levi sent you. And incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's back. And I want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
The ones on the bottom look all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle under the ones on top. Not too close. They look like they're ready to bust. Cornelius, I can smell it from up here.
Come on, Barnaby. We're going to New York.
Out there's a world outside of numbers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby.
yes, you did bring it up.
I am marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get out of the millinery business. I hate hats.
Mrs. Malloy.
And I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Mrs. Malloy.
Don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go into restaurants or balls or theaters. It's all the proof they need. Take my word for it. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, no, not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie. Leave it be. You can make Miss Mortimer another hat if you like. I'm wearing this one myself.
But Mrs. Malloy, you can't. Why, you're a widow. And that hat, why, it's provocative, that's what.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk into the shop today. And provocative may be just what I want to be.
Mrs. Malloy.
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman as long as it's true love. Minnie, look! There are two men staring at the shop.
Men?
I do believe they mean to come in here.
Mrs. Malloy, none in the shop! What shall we do?
Do? Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the younger one.
Mrs. Malloy, and you and all that talk about love.
Love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do with now. We'll get them all heated up and then drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Now, you go back into the workroom. I know some ways you can perk up our appearances. Besides, a bit of a wait will only make them nervous and easier for us, too.
If you say vampire, I'll scream.
Vampire. And so I try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of the night, because a breeze might stir the rainbow behind me that might happen to catch a gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie will get an adventure out of this yet.
Barnaby will get an adventure out of this yet. All day long, we wander around New York and nothing happens. And then we come to the quietest street in the city, and all of a sudden...
Vandergelder.
Oh, is he still out there? Go check.
He's sitting on that bench for you. Are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When we're in one, you'll know it all right. How much money we got left?
Not much, Cornelius. 40 cents for the train back, 30 cents for dinner, 20 cents to see the whale, 90 cents. Why?
When those ladies come back in the store, we're going to have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is make them think we're rich. That way we won't have to buy anything. We're two gentlemen about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Barnaby Tucker here.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
We're too happy to see you. We're wondering if we can buy a lady or two to Malloy with.
We want a hat. For a lady, of course, and everybody says to come to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, because her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable as under $1 would still leave us enough money to see the whale.
Oh, Bonnie, pay him no mind, man. He's come all the way from Yonkers, and he's all excited. He wants to see the whale. Just keep an eye on that street, Barnaby, and you just might see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting on that bench.
Excuse me, Mr. Hackle, but did you say Yonkers?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And if you don't mind me saying so, you should see Yonkers. By that, I mean perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers as well.
I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow. Oh, terribly sorry, Mrs. Malloy. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have really enjoyed Yonkers, especially in that hat. I mean on you, of course, not him, God rest his soul. You're not Catholic, are you? Because if you were, I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday free, I'd be more than willing to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Really?
Well, you see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
And perhaps you even know him.
Perhaps we do.
Although it's always so silly to ask in cases like this, isn't it?
Of course.
It's a Mr. Horace Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Vandergelder's hay and feed?
Do you know him?
Oh, no. No.
Mr. Vandergelder is a substantial man and well liked, they tell me.
Oh, he's a wonderful man, Mrs. Malloy. Has only one fault as far as I can tell. He's tough as nails.
Cornelius, I think...
Now, I wonder if your friend might like this one.
Oh, look out!
Help us, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
We'll explain everything later, Mrs. Malloy.
Come out of there this minute.
We're as innocent as can be, Mrs. Malloy.
Oh, really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, I insist that you both come out or I'll be forced to... Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. When I make appointments, I like people to be on time. Here's a present for you. Chocolate covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Say, did I just see you talking with two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder? What would men be doing in a lady's hat shop? Well, now, Mr. Vandergelder, let's go back into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, Mr. Vandergelder, what's new in the hay and feed business? I
I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails. I mean...
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see,
He.
a customer, Mr. Vandergelder. Someone quite well to do, as a matter of fact. He was in here buying hats for ladies. Perhaps you even know him. Although it's always so silly to ask in cases like this, isn't it? It's Mr. Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Why, yes.
He happens to be my head clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't you know Cornelius Hackle? Everybody in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. He's here at the operas, in all fashionable homes. Why, he's even at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Oh, he's only got $146.35. I keep it in my own safe.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The
Panama.
Erie.
The Erie.
Both.
Impossible, they ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lind's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's... Well, I can't say it. But it was Cornelius. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I could see you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Dolly, what are you saying? I've only seen him once in my life. Now, really, Dolly, Excuse me.
Of course.
Now, look here. If there's a man in that closet.
No, Mr. Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man that hides in ladies' closets confronted me, Mrs. Levi. Stand aside.
No man indeed. I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles. Why, I can see them now rippling underneath your coat. Back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, stand aside.
Stand indeed. That's what the law courts will want to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for brotherhood, America, and no hustle.
Mrs. Malloy.
All right, Mr. Vandergelder, there is a man in that closet.
Aha!
And another under that table.
What the devil?
And there also happens to be a simple explanation. For the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll meet you later on this afternoon, Mr. Mr. Vandergelder.
You certainly will, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, I can explain everything.
I do not wish to hear any explanations. Just you and Mr. Tucker do me the kind pleasure of leaving my shop at once, or I send for Officer Gogarty.
Calling in officers, letting them off too easy, Irene. The law courts, that's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed. And believe me, you've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnishee. Now the main thing is to show that you've tried to handle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, darling?
It's the way it's done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterwards.
Oh, we'd be delighted, Mrs. Malloy, and I speak for Barnaby, too. I hear there's a wonderful restaurant at the railway station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us. I hear they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
Oh, we couldn't go there, Mrs. Malloy. It's not the money or anything like that. It's just that...
It's the whale.
It's the whale. Oh, Barnaby, it's not the whale. It's the dancing. You see, places like that have exhibitions and competitions, and I don't know how, and it would take me weeks, months, never mind years even to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, the 33-year-old chief clerk's taught how to dance.
Now it's simple. You put one arm here and one arm here.
Oh, it's no use, Mrs. Levi. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Oh, absolutely no sense of rhythm is a primary requirement for learning under the Gallagher and Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. Now we'll start with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. Now it's simple. Right foot touch, left foot touch. Under, back, around, touch, back, through, around, behind, out, over, release, and curl. Oh, when I think of the lucky woman who will find heaven in your arms. Let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand. With her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing. Well, I was.
Of course you are, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing. About to burst, my head is about to pop, and now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? Look at me, everybody! Won't even this hackle. Sport is dancing.
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and step and step and glide.
At the Castle Garden Show.
What can you do for God's sake? Keep breathing. For my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
Before I went to bed, I said a prayer, thanking God that I was independent and that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. And then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I had placed it there when you'd asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And I suddenly realized that I was like that leaf. For years I had not shed one tear, nor had been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other might turn out well. Well, I decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade has its start, I'm gonna before the parade has its start.
and she's helping out. But don't you worry. She'll meet you at the Harmony Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
As well it should be. What food! And the fastest waiters in New York. By the way, I might be running a little late, so Miss Money will meet you in front of the restaurant. Oh, where do you see her, Horace? All in buttercup yellow with baby pink shoes. And singing an old-fashioned tune. Yes, sweet Rosie O'Grady. You couldn't miss her if you tried.
I'll be there, Dolly, but only because I already paid for the introduction, and I might as well get my money's worth. But from this point on, you're hereby discharged from my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on, Dolly Gallagher, you're just a woman like anyone else.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine.
bad. It's not the money or anything like that. It's just that nowadays, really elegant people never take hacks.
Hacks is out.
They all go by streetcar.
J.B. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
Then by all means, a streetcar.
Imagine, I've been elegant all my life and never even knew it.
Of course, if you really want to be elegant,
We do.
you walk. Oh, of course, Mrs. Malloy. Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy, as we walk into the restaurant,
Yes, Miss Hackle?
could I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle. But I might as well warn you. Of course, it is a corset.
I don't want to be a saint. I just want to get married.
But you heard, Mrs. Levi. It's the only way to show it. You're our uncle that we mean business. Now, if you're gonna cry a little fast as you're throwing me off step.
And it is my honor, as the head waiter of the Harmonia Gardens restaurant, and your supreme commander, that tonight, of all nights, our usual lightning service will be twice as lightning as ever, or else.
I trust you are finding this table satisfactory, sir? The private dining rooms do cost a little bit more, but they do afford the best view of the entertainment. $1.40, Cornelius. That's all that's left.
Are you sure, Barnaby? Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out two of New York's best known sport.
Well, I did make a mistake, Cornelius. It's only $1.35. I'll count it once more.
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter!
Sir, I've told you before. We'll have to move. This table's reserved for Mrs. Levi and party.
And who do you think I am? Only it's Horace Vandergelder and party. She's my party, I ain't hers.
Mr. Vandergelder, of course. But Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing about you bringing
My personal physician. That's no rouge, doctor.
But Mrs. Levi only ordered a chicken for two.
Chicken? Chickens are expensive.
Un pâté maison, soupe de jeu, pomme soufflé.
Why didn't you tell me this was an oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry respectable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2 only. It's in my garter.
What a sensible girl. Waiter, we'll have 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep asking your dishes. Minnie, have you ever eaten pheasant?
Pheasants?
It's not that. I just felt a slight chill.
Why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. Now, let's order something to hold us up till the rice comes. Waiter! We'll have a roast suckling pig with some chestnut and oyster stuffing, some cheese fondue, and some lady fingers. Now, what'll you have?
in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream and hothouse peaches. And Barnaby, give the band leader a nickel and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We want some music while we dine.
The Vandergelders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
All right, then I'll dance myself. Give him $2 to give to the band leader, and tell him to play something refined. I'm going to do the hoops and
All right, Cornelius. I'll send for the band, but promise you won't order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money. I'll tell them to play a nice waltz. Here, you. Here's $2 to the band leader.
Excuse me. Give this to the band leader. I tell him to play a waltz.
Miss Money!
And 2 more pheasants, please.
Cornelius! Cornelius!
My purse!
My wallet!
Here, you. That's my purse.
Excuse me, sir, but this is my wallet. I know it's my wallet because all it has is $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and... Cornelius! Cornelius! Did he say 2 pheasants? Make that 3 pheasants. No, 4 pheasants. Pheasants for the house. Never mind if I don't see that whale, Cornelius. I'll buy one of my own.
Sir! Sir! What's this? Shouting boy? How many times have I told you not to shout? There's a Harmonia Gardens restaurant. Not one of those. Those.
But, sir, she's here. Lady.
Are you sure, boy?
Like you told me, sir, 8 o'clock on the nose, up pulls the carriage, and out steps the lady with the biggest handbag I ever saw.
It's Mrs. Levi. She's here. I'll go tell the band.
Sir! Sir! Rudy! She's here!
Hello,
Vandergelder! What are you doing in that getup? And you're half an hour late. And I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina?
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do that. Hoochie coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Horace, I'm going to have our table moved down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see.
What you wanted, a chicken. Now about that hoochie coochie girl.
Oh, did you say a chicken? I don't think I'd face a chicken. Not a chicken. Not tonight. Not after what's happened.
Good, dance with the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just looking the place over. Getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the trouble with you, Dolly. Always wanting to know everything. Always sticking your nose into other people's affairs. Anybody who married you would get as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said anybody who married
Horace
you...
Vandergelder, get that idea right out of your head this minute. Why, I'm shocked that you've even mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Horace Vandergelder, you go your way, and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts unshelled. Why, the idea of you even suggesting such a thing...
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
Well, I certainly do hope not. But if I had any intention of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. Now let's not say another word about it. Here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Mr. Vandergelder, Rudolph. Ah, now here is some white meat for you. And some dumplings, lighter than air they are. And some giblets, very tender and very good for you. No, Horace Vandergelder, as I've said before, you go your way and I'll go mine. Start right in on the wine. I think you'll feel much better at once. However, since you brought the matter up, there's one more thing I think I ought to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I think I ought to say before we forget all about it. It's true, I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things. But I wouldn't like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
That's nice. Now dig right in. No, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you is no sort of companion for me. You solve your beat, and I'll solve mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this. At your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
At my age, you're always talking about my age.
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up in Yonkers with bad food and bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets.
That's nice. Now dig right in. Yes, the pity of it is that you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now sit down, Horace. We'll talk of something else. But before we change the subject, there's one more thing I'm going to say.
I don't want to hear it. If it's to ask me to marry you, you're wasting your time.
Well, then I suppose you want me to ask you. Well, I'm sorry, Horace. I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't even asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Here, let me cut your wings.
I've got a headache. I'm going back to my hotel.
Oh, you can't go now. The competition's about to begin.
Here's the money to pay for dinner. Here's $20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here but $1, 3 times, 5 pennies, and a button. This is my purse. I've lost my purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found.
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
It's Vandergelder. We better get out of here.
What am I going to do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Oh, look, Horace. The he's sure to win the solid gold cup.
Mrs. Malloy, we've had a wonderful evening, but I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it, excuse me, a bit short.
Minnie, listen, of course. Cornelius, I think there's only one dance.
Vandergelder's right here. We gotta go.
We will go. This stands our way.
Mr. Vandergelder.
Ermengarde! Dolly, Levi, this is your doing. What are you up to?
Mr. Vandergelder, I can explain everything.
I don't want to hear any explanation. Sure,
Arrest that man!
All right, you're all under arrest. Arrest them all of disturbing the peace, assault and battery, inciting to riot, and several other equally serious violations of the law of this city. Is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? I say, is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? Miss Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Oh, my God, we're going to...
No, there is no need to call witnesses, ladies and gentlemen. When I see upon this bench a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of snow-white whiskers that bristle with fair play, and a nose, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to look at this nose. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Would you turn this way a bit, Your Honor, so we could get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land, E probuscus unum. Your Honor, I ask for the freedom of my client and a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit, Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly!
The one man responsible for the grievous charges of willful destruction to private property,
A curtain torn, a waiter bruised, and a solid gold cup bent.
cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Excuse me, Mrs. Levi, but if it please the court, I have something to say.
Of course, Mr. Hackle. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, you'll be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
I'll do it again.
You've done it again, too. But even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I'm going to say. Oh, Your Honor, I don't know much about inciting to riot or disturbing the peace. What I do know is that thing which happened to me today, which is the most important thing that could ever happen to a man, might have never happened if I'd have stayed in Yonkers, New York, and listened to your orders, Mr. Vandergelder. Your Honor, that thing which I'm talking about is none other than love.
What? You're trying to tell me that after 33 years you've gone and fallen in love after one evening off?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandergelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city in just an evening. It wasn't even an hour. What's less than a minute?
A second.
No, less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can get it all down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Oh, isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat, all cooped up in Yonkers, when all the time wonderful people like Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city were walking around, and I didn't know them at all. Oh, I don't know if you can see from where you're sitting, the way her eyes, nose, and cheek come together in that one place. I tell you, there are so many wonderful creations on earth, but woman is God's greatest creation. You can talk all you want about Niagara Falls or the pyramids, but they're not in it at all. Oh, I've seen so many things, and I've talked to women before, but today was the first time I talked to one equal to equal. And they're so different from men. And they're really mysterious, too. I bet you could know a woman for 100 years and not even know if she liked you or not. Oh, I've lost so many things today. All the things that people think are important, but I don't care. My job, my future, but it doesn't matter. Because I know if I had to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I'd still be a ditch digger that once had a wonderful day.
I missed a few words back there, Mr. Hackle. Right after it only.
It's a romance, but his arms are true and true. It only takes a moment. He held me for an instant, but his arms felt safe and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved for all
And that is all that love's about.
and we'll recall when time runs out that it only
Took a moment to be loved of
Dismissed. Dismissed. You're all dismissed. All except Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York. You're all dismissed. Go, my children, and bless you. Go.
You can see the purser now, Mrs. Levi.
Well, Horace, there's your life. Without niece, without clerk, without a bride, and without your purse. It looks like there's only one more thing to say.
If it's to ask me to marry you, never, not in a million years would I ever marry you.
Oh, that wasn't it at all, Horace. All I wanted to say to you was, goodbye,
What?
goodbye.
Now hold on, Dolly.
It's too late, Horace. I've failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say but goodbye, 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 goodbye.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, if you're the last one on earth. Not as you've asked me a million times. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. No, sir, Dolly Levi, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly!
You set, Mr. Vandergelder?
What? Oh, so it's you, is it? Come crawling back, have you?
No, Mr. Vandergelder. I just came back to get my money. $146.35. You see, I decided to go into business for my own, and since the only business I know is hay and feed, I decided to open up my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, Mr. Vandergelder. Right across the street from you.
So you think you can compete with Vandergelders, do you? Well, you just try. Oh, another one come crawling back. Well, what do you want?
My back salary for the past 4 months. $6.12.
You can't do this to me, any of you. I'll go to the courts. I'll get lawyers.
Well, Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe, don't you look handsome in that outfit?
Dolly Gallagher.
I know just what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. But don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something. What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
And $6.12 of mine.
And the money my mama left me.
$52.48.
38?
48.
All right. If it's the money you want, the safe is this way.
Money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. Mr. Vandergelder's never tired of saying that most people in the world are fools. But in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Cornelius, Irene, myself. We're all fools. And we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to keep us apart is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are not right in the world. And that takes a little money. The difference between a little money and no money at all is enormous, and it can shatter the world. But the difference between a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight. But that can shatter the world too. It's all in how you use it. As my late husband, F.C. Levi, always said, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Well, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Well, what are you waiting for? That goes upstairs.
Now, as I was saying, Horace, I found you the ideal wife.
I don't want you to find me no ideal wife. If I want an ideal wife, I'll find one of my own. And I found her, and it's you, damn it.
Why, Horace.
I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other woman, but forgive me, Dolly, and marry me.
Horace, stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you're the first citizen in Yonkers. And your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me, Horace. Am I a somebody?
You are a wonderful woman.
Oh, Horace, you're partial. No, it wouldn't be enough to load your wife with money and jewels, or to insist that she be benefactress to half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open up a shop right across the street from you. Better take him back and let him be your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius's old job.
Now, hold on, Dolly.
That way we can all be together to dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
That does it. I'll dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't know how to dance. It would take me weeks, months, years to learn. All right, I'll dance.
Oh, Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
Well, what are you waiting for? That's for the front room, you idiots. Go on.
Horace, what's going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd have the front room done over in new wallpaper.
Horace?
Oh, I know the old wallpaper ain't worn out yet, but that fella's just set up in business. Needs a good start. You see, Dolly, I've always felt that money, pardon the expression, is a lot like manure. It's not worth a thing.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello,
couple people we'd really like to thank, and it's really made things so possible. Go, Paul!
and there are plenty of them. And she's just wonderful. We couldn't do without her. So Penelope, please come up and accept me.
We're here to represent, on behalf of everybody behind us, to thank one person. She's known as Princess of Pirouettes, the Duchess of Hits, the Queen of Hits, Miss Waters. We're here to thank a wonderful woman, a woman who has brought us here to this musical, who's taught us everything she knows, who's made us
what we are for you to enjoy. We're speaking of none other than Mrs. Aldous, who helped us with our lines. Even helped Adam here memorize his lines. We don't know
My lines? He helped you remember your lines.
What are you talking about?
No. Okay, besides that, we would just like her to come up and accept these gifts from the
Before we thank the wonderful lady that we're going to thank, just so you all know, for everyone who has helped with the show, meaning the teachers and everyone else who's donated their time, they're getting a lovely calendar of all our beautiful faces, with all the pictures from all the show and rehearsals that we've had. And now we'd like to call forward who we like to call Tracy, but we're going to call her onto the stage, right? Okay. Hello, Tracy. Well, hello, Tracy. It's always nice to have you back where you belong. You're taking Thank you so much for your time to help all of us, whether or not we're counting our hands on our hips, which we're not supposed to do, or whether we're missing lines or playing with our hair.
I'd just like to say thank you to my Auntie Mame. In grade 9, we did Mame, and she was Mame, and I was Patrick. And she's been with us since, and I'll never forget her.
We love her very much.
I'd like to thank a very special lady, Miss Coolidge, whose dedication to the show made it what it was.
Wonderful orchestra. Okay, let's go out there.
As the saying goes, last but certainly not least, we'd like to thank a person who made this entire production possible. There are a lot of people that make their contributions here and there, and they're very important, but without Miss Keel, it just wouldn't come together. So we'd like to thank Miss Keel.
And it's one more thing we'd like to say. Since grade 9, Miss Gill has been there every day, in and out. Some of your cries. Okay. Sorry. Okay. We basically feel that Miss Gill and her view on music is a simple saying. Miss Gill, pardon the expression, Miss Gill's outlook on life and music is like manure. Ain't one thing unless you spread around growing.
Thomas, who is my husband and works long hours creating these sets and puts up with the fact that I'm not there ever, we would never have a show. What's the point of having a show without an audience? These ladies and gentlemen have worked very, very hard. These ladies and gentlemen have worked very, very hard. And all the other people that you see on the back of that program make this show work.